Jealousy and envy are a soul sickness that cannot exist in someone who also wants to be successful. If you look at another person and you see their success and you feel a negative emotion, God himself sees that, but he doesn't differentiate the fact that you only feel that way because it's that person's success. He's going to look at that and say, this person does not like success. They must not want any of this. Let me keep this success away from that person. Jealousy and envy are a self-fulfilling loser's prophecy. That when you do not do whatever work you need to do on yourself and your soul to get right, that you can look at anybody and everybody's success in the right frame of what an inspiration. Good for them. That's awesome. If they can do it, I can do it. Then you will continue to be stuck in a loop of losing and completely unaware of why you can't seem to get out of this cycle when you have these dreams and goals. But it's ultimately your fault because you're drinking your own poison every day and ruining any chance you have at success. A business is meant to be a tangible, autonomous running asset. A lot of people run their companies that they're a slave to the business. They actually don't own a business. They own a self-employed job and they're married to the company. Understanding business at a black belt or at least a blue belt level, that you can implement systems, processes, KPIs, key performance indicators with dashboards and reporting, and a competent leadership team that you have hired and replaced yourself out of the business is the right framework. It's the right path to take that company that you were once a slave to, that you are trading time for money and couldn't get away from, and without your efforts and your time, it would likely not be successful or as successful, and developing a business that runs, grows, is profitable with very little, if any, of your own involvement. When you look at the landscape of business, there's a mile marker that a lot of companies are past that most aren't. Like, do you think for companies like Apple, IBM, General Motors, Meta, these are extreme examples because they're very large businesses, but do you think if anything happened to the top leadership or the founder that the business would just fall apart? If Jeff Bezos never went back to work again, would Amazon collapse or would it be fine? It would be fine, right? So what are the fundamental differences between those businesses and the founder, owner, led, and operated businesses? The swing and the space between both of them is the work that is to do to create a company. And the company should provide you cash flow and lifestyle. Most entrepreneurs in the beginning get into this game because they want to make money. They want financial freedom. They want to be rich. They want to win. And for most of us, that process for a period of time does and probably likely has to look like working your face off almost around the clock for a longer period than you think it's going to actually take you in order to make your first million, your first 2 million, 5 million, 10 million. The trap that many people that will be successful find themselves in, which is such an interesting paradox, is that they will get rich, they'll get financially free, but have compromised their lifestyle and their time to do such. So, okay, wonderful. You're now a business owner. You've worked for years to reach this level of status and success, financial success, but you have to work 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, 16 hours a day, and you can never be off. So you have the money to live a great lifestyle, but you don't have the time. So for a small amount of business owners that get to that place, the next stage of development and their evolution is learning how to professionalize their company and learn how to create a business that runs without them. Because when you get to a place where you have a business that produces a significant amount of profit, of cash flow, and also have the freedom of time to enjoy it, my friend, that is the dream. That is the goal. You are going to work harder than you thought you were going to have to work. And it's going to be more painful than you believed starting a company was going to be. You're going to want to quit over and over and over again. There are going to be many, many times where you don't know how you're going to make it. You're going to experience unbelievable loneliness. You're going to feel so misunderstood by the world around you. And you're going to have to do all of that for a lot longer than you thought you were going to have to do it. That is the price. Most people are not willing to pay it. Most people will change their mind, which is another way of saying giving up along the way. Didn't work out, decided to do something different, pivoted, cool. But for the people that refuse to fucking quit, the ones that dig in and give it everything they have to give, the ones that are just hard to kill. On the other side of that process is not only an unbelievable life of success, everything you ever dreamed of, but there is a community of people that you haven't met yet and you will not meet until you're ready to, that have also been through that treacherous process. They say it's lonely at the top and they say all these negative things about what it's like at the top. There are a lot of prices to pay, but the last thing that it is when you get there is lonely. You'll meet some of the best people that have been molded by the experiences that you had to go through there as well, that you will ever meet. It's worth it. Listen, man, haters they're a necessary part of the process. And what they don't understand, and they never will, about entrepreneurs are very frequently sensitive, emotional people. They have big hearts, they care. They're just very passionate, right? So a struggle for a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, is when they start to find some success, make a little bit of noise, get recognized. The first time they buy a nice car, a nice house, they take that trip, they start to enjoy their success, these mile markers of the journey. They're gonna look out and they, with a pure heart, are gonna assume that the world around them is happy for them, because if it was them looking at someone else's success, they would authentically be happy for them. They're so different than most people that they don't even understand most people. And it is going to be a heartbreaking moment for business owners, entrepreneurs, when they look out and they realize, I thought you guys would be happy for me. What do you mean? How do you not understand? I worked so hard to get here. I hope you do too, but I earned this. They said, what about me? Oh, they had a party and I didn't get the invite. You know, maybe they forgot. That process is necessary. And for the entrepreneur that can relate with the pain of starting to deal with criticism and hate, please know that one, you're not alone, and two, you will develop over time callous. It has to hurt for a period of time, but you'll develop a leather skin to it. Do not, under any circumstances, let fear of what other people have to think and say and how they'll treat you as a consequence of your success ever deter you from chasing your dreams. You fucking can't do that. That's the one thing you can't do. You can't stop. You can cry, you can have yourself a good cry, but you can't quit. Business is going to pressure test you. Not everyone is meant to make it. The market is the biggest gangster that exists. It's emotionless, and you step into it and it wants to know you got what it takes. And it's gonna put you on pace, and it's gonna drag you into the deep end. It's gonna drag you into the championship rounds of a fight and make sure that you have what it takes to earn your position in the market. And it's very important that you focus on building you. That's why entrepreneurship is very much a you versus you game. You're gonna step into the market, it's gonna put the pressure on you, it's gonna test you, and what you have built in here is the thing that's going to determine whether you survive or not. Most businesses fail. That's an unfortunate, sobering reality of this game. But they fail because the operator was ill prepared for how hard it actually is. I truly believe that the majority of failed businesses happen because the entrepreneur gives up. I think that's why. I think if most of those businesses just stayed in the game longer, that they would have been part of the rare exception of the ones that make it. Developing yourself, your mental toughness, your physical toughness through practices like fitness, diet, reading, spirituality, everything that you build you with is gonna prepare you to be the ones that make it. People are like, Eric, what does working out, eating healthy, and reading books and practicing spirituality have to do with business? Fucking everything. It has to do everything with business. Because you think this is about information and talent. Information and talent are important, but it's not even in the top, 5 of stuff that matters around here. What actually matters is how resilient you are, how mentally tough you are, how hard can you take an ass whooping and get up the next day and smile and say, give me another one, please. Because in this game, it's not the most talented people that win, not the most educated, not the smartest people. It's the toughest, the most resilient, the hungriest, the hardest driving motherfuckers. Those are the ones that make it. And that's why you have to develop yourself. And it's the most important thing you can do. If I knew that I had 24 hours to live, what would I do? I wouldn't tell anyone. I wouldn't burden them for a second with grief a moment before they had to bear it. I would smile until my very last breath, and I would spend it with the people I love, my children, my family, and I would just take in every last minute. It's not much different than how I live today, Yeah, man, I'd go out like a fucking G though. I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't look at my sneakers. I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't seek sympathy. They would know that I left Earth, and the last 24 hours I had with them, we had an amazing day, and the whole time I knew that it was our last moments. And that lesson alone would capture the essence of who I am and what I believe. And that's what I would leave them with. God, bro, fuck.
Jeez. Jeez.
That's crazy, right?